Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. This one we're going to be doing my part 2 to Destination Springfield, or I've called it part 3 here because technically it would be part 3 if we're continuing from, the very first one. But basically, what we're doing here is we're doing 3 more locations where we'll be talking about, I'll be showing off all the different content, all the different characters that they can add with this act. Now, it's not, I hope it's okay. Now, of course, the first 3 ones I did with from the last video, and I definitely recommend you go watch the last video. Of course, we did Act Jerusalem, or Act Israel, I should probably call it, Act Australia, and we did Act I forgot the other one. Yeah, but you know what I mean. Act I actually forgot. We did Australia, we did Israel, and we did the other one. But anyway, it's not important. Basically, today we're doing more acts. So I got three more locations, and as you could probably tell, we've got the UK, we've got the Italy, and we've got China. So yeah, let's go. So, of course, I've just kept in some Krogan deals because I thought that they would be it's kind of cool. Obviously, we don't know if Krogan would be in both, but I think Krogan would be, an awesome character to have. Obviously, I'm not going to go through his tasks again, but go watch last episode if you want to see the whole deal with Krogan. But we have Da Vinci Airport as his first prize, of course. And his second prize would be Edwina as a playable character, and his third and final prize will be the Big Panda as a non-playable. And the Big Panda will actually unlock a task for Homer, where it's strangle and be strangled, where he'll strangle a little panda whilst getting strangled by a big panda. So that'd be an interesting task. And then we have Act Italy. So first of all, we have Salsiccia for 85 donuts. This was, of course, the town where the villa is actually located, the Italian villa, which we've already got in the game. And, of course, all the old Italian stuff will return, like the Italian villa, with, of course, Sideshow Bob's wife, and, of course, Gino would return, and all that kind of stuff that we had before would all return. But, yeah, the Salsiccia for 85 donuts, just the kind of enclosed town. I know we've already got the villa separately, but I don't see what the problem would be. Then we've got the cheese truck for 20 donuts. Pretty cool decoration, of course, the one that collapsed. We have the bus for 15 donuts. Of course, it has the crusty performance thing on the side of it. And then we have Pompeii for 60 donuts. Of course, this could just be a building, obviously just all the ruins of Pompeii. But it would earn cash. And then we have the town drunk for 95 donuts. And I know he's not really a major character, he was only there for a little gag, but I think he would make a funny little playable character to have. I know he's not a big one, but I don't know. I think the problem with Italy is it's kind of weak in terms of characters. It's quite a lot of buildings they can add, but because we've already got the big characters like Gino and Sideshow Bob's wife, that we're kind of let down in characters. But I think the town drunk would make a pretty cool premium character anyway. And then finally we have the prize track. And not finally, we have the prize track. So first of all we have the Lamborghini, which they get for Mr. Burns. Definitely would be a really cool decoration to have as our first thing, and they can get away with copyright because of course it's a Bugatti and a Lamborghini combined, I'm presuming. So then we've got the Lamborghini factory, of course, right here. Really cool factory, so they can give us this as, of course, a prize. Of course, it is located in Italy. Very cool. And then we have the aqueducts, Roman aqueducts, also really cool. Being a kind of cool decoration. We did get something similar in the France act, but of course they're both European, so probably would be similar. They're quite close to each other, I guess. Then we have the goat NPC. This will be, of course, this is the older woman's goat. They can call it the old woman's goat, I guess. Or the old Italian goat, something like that. But basically, it's the goat owned by this woman over here, but we'll talk about her in a second. And then finally, we have the Leaning Tower of Pisa. As a building, really cool, of course, like the real life one. And of course we got the Eiffel Tower, so I don't see why we shouldn't get the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And then finally, as the very final prize, we've got the old Italian woman. Of course, she was quite thoroughly appeared in the episode. She was never named, but that's okay. She was kind of like this government figure anyway. She appeared to be kind of like at least a well-known figure, and yeah, so of course she's the person who actually elected Sideshow Bob, or one of the people who elected Sideshow Bob. So I think she would be kind of cool to have in the game. Definitely, I think pretty solid, not amazing, but okay character anyway. Anyway, moving on, we have the crafting. First of all, we have the Italian train station. I think that this should just be like an enclosed thing, like no tracks or anything, just the train sitting in the station. And then maybe we have like that tunnel thing, as you can see there. Maybe we have that, and then it's just enclosed. Then we have the wine barrel. Of course, we got a similar one in the France act, so they could just rehash it. I wouldn't be that bothered if they just rehashed it. They could just do that. We've got the tables. Of course, these are the tables that they sat on in the villa, well, inside the town. Oh, sorry, inside the town. So just a few of these tables would be cool. We have a Pompey family. Of course, they look similar to the Simpsons family, but it'd be funny. We got the McDonald's. I just threw the McDonald's in because I don't know about copyright issues, if they'd be able to give us it. But of course, this is the European McDonald's anyway. They could give us if they wanted to. I don't know, I just sort of threw it in there, but I doubt they'll be able to give it to us. And then finally, we have this big like Colosseum structure thing with the Lamborghini on the top. They could just give us this structure thing, maybe with the car on top. Might be cool, I don't know, but yeah, pretty cool. So I definitely want to see all this stuff. Anyway, moving on, we have UK. So that's all of Italy. I know Italy's not particularly very strong in terms of stuff, but I think it's okay. So anyway, we have Act UK. So first of all, we have the Houses of Parliament with Big Ben. I want them to actually give us the Houses of Parliament with Big Ben separately. I know that we've already got the Digi Big Ben from the future thing, but I think it would be cool if we actually got the Houses of Parliament with Big Ben, because that was my only problem with the Digi Big Ben, is it would have been cool if we actually got the Houses of Parliament with it. But I want them to actually give us all of it, and like a modern version of it, yeah, for 90 donuts. Then we have the roundabout for 20 donuts. Now this is a really cool decoration, because of course this will be just like the town centre that we got in Halloween, and that other one we got in the Secret Agents event, where actually you can place roads. It's like a decoration, but you can place roads like sort of underneath it, so it would act as like a, I think you guys know what I mean. But I definitely want that. I think this is a perfect opportunity for one. So yeah, definitely want to see that. We have the courtroom. This is the courtroom for 70 donuts. Pretty cool building. We have Harrods for 80 donuts. It's obviously a department store. We have Sir Ian McKellen in Macbeth, which is basically a theatre. It's basically a theatre for 50 donuts. Cool little theatre. Maybe also when someone's in it, the sign will collapse like it did in the episode. And then we have Judi Dench's Fish and Chips for 35,000 cash. Or, well, not 35,000. Yeah, 35,000. Whatever. Yeah, obviously I think it should be cash because we need one cash building, and plus there's so much in the UK. And honestly, I just want to quickly mention before I go into Abbey, they could include all the Scotland stuff as well if they just brought it with UK. Of course, they could include all the Scotland stuff because, of course, Scotland is not like a separate country; it's part of the UK. So, but I talked about the Scotland stuff in the Casino 2 event. So, if you want to go check that out, please go check it out. And also, they could add some of the Irish stuff. Yeah, they could add some of the Irish stuff as well from St. Patrick's Day. And then finally, we have Abby for 95 donuts. Of course, she is Abe's daughter and Homer's half-sister, so pretty cool character to have in the game, although she didn't appear that much, but yeah, whatever. And then we have the prize track. So first of all, we have London Eye. Then we have another theatre, basically. Then we have the Tower of London, which acts as a prison cell for Homer, but whatever. Obviously, it's a tourist attraction in real life, but hey, they could do something with it being like a prison, because it did used to be like years ago. Then we have a Mini Cooper, that obviously the Simpsons hired, the Mini Cooper at the rent-a-car place. Basically, yeah. So really cool decoration to have in the game. Be nice to have a little mini. We have Hastings books as another prize. Of course, this is where J.K. Rowling popped out of. I don't want them to add any like all the celebrities. Like we saw like Tony Blair and J.K. Rowling. I don't really want them to be in the game all too much. I'm not that. I mean, if they could bring them in the game, then cool, go for it. But I prefer like Edwina, Abby, and the Queen personally. But I think that would be cool. But if they could add Tony Blair and like J.K. Rowling and all that, then go for it. And then the final prize is Buckingham Palace, even though I'm not really a massive fan of either Tony Blair or J.K. Rowling. But anyway, final prize is Buckingham Palace with the Queen, of course, Really, really cool final prize. Very, very nice building to have, and of course, really, really cool character. They could just call her the Queen. They don't have to call her Queen Elizabeth, and they can get away with it, I presume, without, obviously. But I think they should be able to add the Queen. If they can add, if they can add presidents, they should be able to add the Queen, because I don't think there'll be much issues with that. People make books and movies on the Queen without all the time, and there's no copyright infringement or anything, I don't think, so should be fun. Anyway, crafting, we have the Queen's Chariot, that you can craft, really, really cool. We have the Ertz Rent-A-Car, another crafting thing would be awesome. We have this I'm just going to call it 18th century building, because it sort of has a focus shot, but it doesn't actually tell us what it is. We have this little taxi here that I definitely want, and also you can see there the little pylon thing, the road thing. I definitely want those kind of things in the game, like a load of English telephone boxes and stuff like that. Obviously I don't have pictures of it, but you can see it just there, that yellow thing. Then we have the Mary Poppins on the umbrella. I think it would be a funny little decoration to have. We have the London bus, again, like I said. London taxi, I definitely want to see some taxis. We have another theatre, this is the other theatre. There's 3 theatres, but hey, they could add them all in, I wouldn't be too bothered. We have a rowboat here, I definitely want to see that in the game. And then finally, the Queen's Guard as an NPC. I think this would be an awesome NPC to have, and I don't think it would be too hard. They could put it in the crafting, or they could put it in the store. Either way, I think it would be cool if we got a little Queen's Guard walking around. So now, moving on. Ooh. Okay, yeah, moving on. That's all of the UK, and of course, like I said, there is actually way more UK stuff, but that's all the stuff from the one episode anyway that I got from that. Of course, the episode where Homer actually assaults the Queen. That's all the stuff from that episode. So there is more, like I said. And then finally we have Act China. So first of all we have Krusty Fried Chicken for 40 donuts. And of course, I just want to quickly say, there is, like I said, before, there is a lot of Chinese stuff already in the game. Of course, we got stuff in the Lunar New Year, and we also got stuff in the casino, like the Chinese Acrobatic Theatre. Of course, that is another decoration, another building that they need to obviously add in. But anyway, moving on. Krusty Fried Chicken for the first building, really funny building. With the death of the salesman, I think this is a restaurant. Again, another really cool building to put in. We have the Chinese Spy for 90 donuts. I think this would be a cool playable character. I know he's not that major of a character, and he's only in the episode for a little bit, but I think they could do something really cool with him. We have the martial arts master for NPC for 30 donuts. This would just be this guy walking around, and when you tap him, he does a jump kick in the air. That, I think it would be pretty cool. And we have the Consulate of China for cash, which of course is the thing where you can adopt a baby, but the building actually is located in Springfield, so of course they would just have to add it into Springfield, but I think it would be a really, really cool building to have in the game, and of course it's relevant to have in, but of course make it cash. Anyway, we have the prize track. So first of all, it's the Chinese airport. Of course this kind of does a pan of it, so I don't know if they could add it, but I think they should be able to add it, so yeah. They could just condense it down. I definitely want to have some of the airports in the game anyway. Moving on, we have the government building, the Chinese government building. Of course, this is where Madame Wu sort of steps in, and this is where they actually get Ling from, but I doubt it's just the adoption agency. All of this is the adoption agency. I think probably only part of it is, but of course this is where they go. They could make a separate building for the adoption agency, because there is a building, but it doesn't really we only really see the door of the building. We don't really see the building, so I didn't really include it. But they could obviously add that separately, I guess. But the government building is where Ling was originally given to Selma or Patty, whichever one it was. Anyway, moving on, we have the Little Panda NPC. Of course, this goes with the Big Panda NPC, and once you get both of them, you will unlock the task for Homer to strangle and be strangled. Then we have the Chinese tank, really, really cool decoration to have in the game. Of course, there'll be a task with Madame Wu with this. Then we have this kind of I just want to call it ancient building. I don't know what it's called, but we saw it anyway in the thing. I don't know the particular name of it. I'm not really educated very much on China, but whatever it is, they can give it us because it looks awesome. And then finally we have Madame Wu. as the character that we'll get at the end. Very, really cool character. Definitely, this is one I wanted in the Lunar New Year. Really awesome character, and definitely, like, it's a solid character, is my point. A very solid character, unlike, obviously, Italy, where we don't really have a very solid character. And to be honest, in the UK, like, I'd say the Queen is actually a pretty solid character. And I'd say, to be honest, I'd say Edwina and Abby could be pretty solid. But Madame Wu, I definitely think would be an awesome character. And then finally we have crafting. We have these, like, I don't know what to call them, Mongolians or invaders or whatever. But basically these guys on pogo sticks who try and invade the wall. Oh, that's another thing. Obviously all the wall would return as well. But yeah, definitely want to see that. It would be cool to have them as decorations. We have this kind of monument thing that's in the middle. Really cool. Want to see that. We have this kind of lion looking thing, statue thing that I definitely want to see. We have the martial arts hut. This does look very similar to the one we got in the Japan act, but that was the other act, Japan. Yeah, wait, no, I think I mentioned Japan. Did I mention Japan? Oh no, that's the original one. Why am I mentioning the original one? No, I'm thinking of the I still can't remember what it was. What did we do? We did Israel, we did Australia. Oh, whatever. Yeah, so this is the martial arts hut. We have this all these chairs stacked up on each other. I know this was in the martial arts, the acrobats thing, but I definitely want to see this again as a decoration. Just a massive stack of chairs. I think it would be awesome. We have Air China, a nice little plane there for another crafting thing. We have a Chinese taxi. It's just basically a black car with Chinese writing on the side. And then finally we have the Homer Buddha. This could be a costume, and I haven't done any tasks for it, but it could be a costume. I think it would be an awesome costume. Of course, it used to be the thing, it used to be the icon for the premium mystery box, but I think they removed it now. Yeah, but I would like to see it. It would be kind of cool. It could be a costume, like I said, for him, or alternatively, it could just be a decoration. I'd be fine with either, to be honest. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Oh yeah, finally, forgot about this. We have Spain as a guilds deal. Now, of course, Spain we've only seen once in Springfield, in The Simpsons, and we only actually saw one location, so it's kind of hard to make an act out of it. But I think it would be cool as a guilds deal. It would definitely be nice. Like the Mozart thing was kind of miscellaneous for the whole time traveling thing. This Spain would in effect be miscellaneous for the destination Springfield, and guild could come along and give us something. So Sagrada Familia under construction, and we'll eventually, after doing some tasks, we get the skin for it being complete after we do a few tasks with it. Springfield's tapas, which actually is in Springfield, but of course it will serve Mexican food, so it makes not Mexican, sorry, Spanish food. That's a bit prejudice. No, my mistake. Yeah, Spanish food. Well, I guess Spanish and Mexican food is quite similar anyway. But yeah, Springfield tapas. So I definitely want to see that in the game. Although it is in Springfield, I think it makes sense to obviously add it because it's kind of related, and of course Eduardo and Homer were seen together in there. And then finally, Eduardo Barcelona as a playable character. Really, really cool character to have in the game. Of course, this is Homer's pen pal, so yeah. And then finally, just to chuck one in, we've got a Spanish flag that's already been in the game, but I think it would be, you know, kind of cool if we just chuck one of them in. For 250 donuts, I think nothing's really fairer than that. I think that is a really fair deal. 2 buildings and a character and a thing. I think decoration. I think that would be kind of cool. Anyway, so let's look at our playable characters. So first of all, we have Edwina, we have the Queen, we have the old Italian woman, we have Abby, we have Madame Wu, we have the town drunk, we have the Chinese spy, and we have Eduardo Barcelona. And then non-playables, we have the little panda, the big panda, the goat, the Queen's Guard, and the martial arts master. So let's look at some tasks. Let me get my breath. So first of all, we have the old Italian woman. Milk goat for 60 minutes. This will be a cool little task with her goat. Elect new mayor for 4 hours over at the little town, the enclosed town. Deliver goat's milk for 6 hours. This will be a cool task. It will just be going her house to house around Springfield, delivering her milk. Help her out around town for 8 hours, probably at the villa or again the enclosed town. Spit in Homer's face for 12 hours. Pretty disgusting task, but whatever. I think it would be kind of funny. Obviously, there was a scene where she spits in Homer's face when he says something in Italian that offends her. I think calls her like a whore or something. I don't know. But just her spitting in Homer's face and then him wiping his face and then just repeated. And it would obviously earn twice as much cash as a normal 12-hour task would. Walk goat for 24 hours. This would be a pretty cool task. It would be obviously include her goat. Both of these tasks would include her goat. and she'll just be walking her goat around town. And then we have the town drunk. So sing Mambo for 60 minutes. It'll just be him sort of rocking back and forward, singing, looking like he's singing anyway. Steal more wine for 4 hours. This could be a few places actually. Could be like the Quickie Mart. Could be in the villa, or it could be anywhere really. Drink for 6 hours. It'll be him with his wine glass, walking around town, drinking. Drink at Moe's for 8 hours, obviously at Moe's. Have massive nap for 12 hours, probably at the villa, or like I said, the enclosed town. Walk around drunk for 24 hours. Which will be him, again, a similar task to him just drinking, but it'll just be him not actually taking a swig from the bottle, him just sort of stumbling around town, around Springfield. Anyway, moving on. Edwina, look at old pictures for 60 minutes. Again, this could be like the Brown House, probably. Spend time with Abe for 4 hours. Probably the retirement castle. Visit the Queen for 6 hours over at Buckingham Palace. Flashback with Abe for 12 hours. This will actually be a really cool task, probably just by a tree, but it will include Abe, obviously, and both of them will be looking like they're young again, which I think would be really awesome. And then recap with Abe for 24 hours, probably the retirement home, or maybe the Simpsons house. We have Abby, drool for 60 minutes, just be her standing there drooling, like you can see her doing right there. Stuff face for 4 hours, it'll be her, maybe an animation, walking around eating, just you know, just to be fat shaming them. Nah, I'm joking, but it would be, there's not really much we can do for Abby, but that would be kind of, because obviously she's meant to be just a female Homer, so it makes sense just her walking around eating donuts and stuff. Buy more food for 6 hours over at the Quickie Mart. Compare with Homer for 8 hours over at the Simpsons house. Doesn't have to include Homer though, I guess. Recap with Father for 12 hours over at the retirement castle with Abe. And then meet other side of the family for 24 hours, again, over at the Simpsons house. And then we have the Queen. Visit court for 60 minutes over at the court. Visit the UK court, that is. Visit prisoners for 4 hours over at the Tower of London. Admire jewels. I nearly said Jews then. Admire Jews. No, admire jewels for 6 hours over at Buckingham Palace. Stay at Buckingham Palace for 8 hours over at Buckingham Palace. Parade streets for 12 hours. Her kind of waving, walking around the streets like she does IRL. And then ride in chariot for 24 hours. This will be a weird task because it will just be her riding around in a chariot, but obviously it wouldn't include the decoration that we craft. I think it would just be her kind of as like a little animation. I know that we would have the decoration as well, but I don't really think they can do much with like the decoration moving, so whatever. And then we have Madame Wu, visit Great Wall for 60 minutes over at the Great Wall of China, watch acrobatic show for 4 hours over at the Chinese Acrobatic Theatre, spy on people for 6 hours over at the... wait, hang on. Oh, I forgot to mention this. This is the hospital, by the way. This is the Chinese hospital. Sorry, I forgot to mention. This is the Chinese hospital. But anyway, that's where she'll be spying. Anyway, yeah. Spy on people over that hospital I just showed you. Assign kids for 8 hours over the government building. Operate tank for 12 hours over at the tank. And then steal Ling for 24 hours. Also obviously include Willing. Forgot to mention, of course, Ling would return and act China. But it'll be her walking around with Ling looking all sketchy. And then we have the Chinese spy. Sneak on boat for 60 minutes. This will be over him with the Chinese junk, which is the boats that we got in the Lunar New Year. Kidnap Bart for 4 hours. Him at the government building with Bart. Spy on government for 6 hours over at the town hall. Spy on Springfield town hall, that is. Spy on school for 8 hours over at the elementary school. Bring back intel for 12 hours. This could be, I guess, just in the Chinese government building. And then pretend to be Bart for 24 hours. Him walking around, maybe on a skateboard. That would be kind of cool. Obviously, him pretending to be just like Bart. Oh, hang on. Pray for Homer's hair. This is Eduardo Barcelona, obviously. Pray for Homer's hair. 5 minutes. Him on his knees praying for Homer's hair. Flirt with Marge for 60 minutes over at the Simpsons house with Marge. Pretend to be a pirate with Homer, him in his pirate suit, walking around, like kind of him and Homer walking around as pirates. Discuss the list for 6 hours, him just on his own in Springfield Tapas. Help put out fires with Homer for 8 hours, him and Homer on a fire truck. Driving around Springfield on a fire truck would be awesome. Write letters to Homer for 12 hours over at the Sagrada, Sagrada, whatever it's called, the Sagrada, whatever. Tour Homer around the thingy for 16 hours. And skydive with Homer for 24 hours would be an awesome task. Him and Homer skydiving, just going diagonal on your screen. like Arnie Pie does in his helicopter. Just be awesome to see that. But anyway, that's it for things. Of course, I got a part 4 coming. I haven't actually made a thumbnail yet for it, but there was one coming soon. So anyway, guys, that is it for this video. I do apologize if I rambled a little bit because I'm kind of losing my will to live here. I actually recorded this before and I lost the recording, so I recorded like 20 minutes and lost it. I don't know how long this video was, but however long it is, I hope it wasn't too long. But yeah, there is going to be a part 4 or /3 that's going to be coming out soon, or well, actually no, part 3 to this series anyway, this mini series anyway, where we'll talk about some more locations. To be honest, I reckon I could pump 4 parts overall. I reckon we could do that. Some of them might be smaller though than the UK. I think the UK is probably the most stuff that we've got, so it probably would make sense if they give us Israel, the UK, and that place in Africa. I remembered where it is now, where the 3rd act was. Yeah, well, maybe it would make sense if they gave us that, and then they left Australia for another day, and maybe we got Australia in this one instead, like we got China, Italy, and Australia. I don't know, but I definitely think that these are three pretty solid locations to give us an act on, so they can definitely at least make 2 more Destination Springfields. But anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, rate, subscribe, tell me your thoughts, any characters or buildings I missed, tell me which locations you want to see, and yeah, I'll see you next video. Goodbye.